Old Man Sarge back again with the global 1936 map and the pieces all set up. So this is what the map looks like when it's all set up, including some of the neutrals. Now I don't have the expansion for Manichenko yet, which is a Japanese expansion, but hopefully I'll get a hold of that one. But here is all the pieces set up. I'll just do a quick scan and then we'll go do a closer scan. You can see the neutral powers: Poland, Hungary, Romania, Russia. We've got some neutrals set up in Mongolia. We've got Japan set up. All their fleets, they're ready to pounce on China and getting ready. Hong Kong has a light carrier. I got the Netherlands expansion a while back, so they're actually in the game. You can play them as a minor power. I'm going to give the ally an opportunity to decide how he wants to play them, but they get $1 a turn to start with, so it takes quite a while to do anything with them. There's Abyssinia, which is modern-day Ethiopia, and Egypt starts at war with them, so they can take them in the first turn. Come on up here. I want you to notice something. I'm very proud of myself for this. Something that's been kind of driving me nuts for a long time. Look at that. That's a swordfish. That's the actual plane that was on that carrier at this time in the war, and they actually, I believe that was the plane that they did the Toronto raid with, but correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong on that. But instead of launching mosquitoes, I got a few of the little swordfish, a little biplane. Anyway, just a side note. I don't have the Turkey expansion yet either, and I would like to get it for sure. So, come back out. Sorry my lighting isn't the best. It's getting darker here up north quicker now. So let's just, I guess let's talk a little bit about some of the areas. You notice there's shipyards. I'll go over the rules, but shipyards are required to build capital ships, carriers, and battleships. You can see that Mexico, I gave them a P-40. They start out with a destroyer and a P-40, a cavalry, and an infantry. And there's Panama, ready to defend off the Japanese if they should get a little sneaky and try to come over and take it from us, from the United States. You can see all the allies. Again, I used a P-40 for the fighter for the. Now it's kind of interesting. Argentina, when Germany triggers, I can't remember what they do. I think when the fall of France, I believe, I could be wrong, then it's possible that they could pay $3, get one little tiny roll, a 1 or a 2 and a 12-sided dice, and Argentina can join them. If that doesn't happen, then when the United States gets into war, once per turn they can send Lend-Lease money to any one of these countries down here, and then they roll, and if they succeed getting underneath what they lent them, then they can get them into the war. So they can get Venezuela or Colombia or Argentina or Brazil into the war, and the pieces would become American at that point. Spanish Civil War would be kind of interesting. You can see that the Republic of Spain has more territories, and the National of Spain has just 2 in Spain itself, which is all that really matters in this particular Civil War. You know, the other territories, the Canary Islands and basically Spanish Morocco, they don't really matter that much in the game. It's all about controlling all the territories within Spain. If you do that, then the Civil War is over with, and whichever side occupies it. And it's important because 2 of the victory points for the Axis is if National Spain wins the war. So, but 1 for Italy, I think, and 1 for Germany. There's France, the Maginot Line, a little marker there is the Maginot Line. They're set to try to defend against the German onslaught. They only start out with $6 to spend, and Germany starts out with 20. I don't know how easy it's going to be to hold. I suspect that maybe if the German player didn't do the right thing, that maybe they could hold. That'd be just rough for Germany if that was the case. There's the British fleet around England. Now, in this game, the British can take that fleet, combine it in the English Channel. You'd have 2 battleships and, 3 cruisers and a couple destroyers, and that one on its side is a coastal destroyer, or a torpedo boat destroyer, so it's not as good, and I don't have a piece yet to represent that for the British. Go up to, there's my Finnish expansion. Those guys are ready for the Russians to try to push them out, take one of their territories. Germany. We'll go over some of the strategies, or at least my initial strategies with Germany. Because I have never played the game, of course, I don't really know if it's the best thing to do, but we'll talk about that in the next video. It might be a little bit of a long video because I'm going to be talking about initial strategies. But before that, I think I'll go over some of the individual country rules and what we're kind of trying to get to. There's Russia, Poland. Germany can use a lightning war specific rule, which allows them to attack, non-combat move, and attack again. But they only get one of those. So do they use it against France? Do they use it against Poland? And they have to use it prior to July of 1940, or on July of 1940 or before. And there's Russia. So what does Russia do? You know, how are they going to plan their defense against the Germans? There's that piece in the Finnish expansion. It's not that great, but it has first strike. It's kind of cool. There's the neutral Turkey and neutral Iran and Iraq and all these little Yemen and Saudi Arabia. Look at that. I'm pretty proud of this piece, as I said earlier. The swordfish. I wanted to get it because I didn't want to see a mosquito on my light carrier, or whoever's going to control them. What is Italy going to do? We'll talk about some of the strategies that you can possibly do. The thing is, I think I'm going to video a strategy, but I'm actually not going to post it because my opponents will look at it and then they'll go against my strategies. But what I'll do is I'll probably just do a video on the strategy, and I'll release it, you know, just after the game gets done, and then I'll release the battle report afterwards, and we can see how close my thoughts were just by looking at the pieces and reading the rules. Here's Japan. How are they going to hit China? You know, do they do a naval invasion? You know, down here. Now those territories that you see that are not nationalist Chinese symbols, those are the warlords. Like these guys here, Sang King, and they're warlords. And what they'll do is, once Japan attacks, they'll all become nationalist Chinese. But until then, except for the communists, of course, who are right there. And they got a couple mountain troops, and those mountain troops are, I think, pretty tough. In the mountains, even. Here we got the... Now these guys are stacked on top of a fortress and a coastal gun from Malaya. So maybe the British should defend Malaya, or maybe Hong Kong. There's what they call the money islands in most games. In this game, it's really not much different. They are worth quite a bit because they give you some bonus dollars for Japan. Australia starts with almost nothing. They only get $3 a turn. What kind of defense would you do with them? Maybe buy militia, put them in New Guinea, Rabaul, you know, and save some extra dollars so that you're at least trying to defend your territories. I don't know. Maybe Japan won't hit them that hard and they can go on offense. Maybe you save up for a Marine or something. Japanese are pretty strong in 1936 even. Let me come over here where there's a submarine base there on Midway. They can build subs out of there. I don't think they can do that initially. They can't even defend these territories until certain criteria is hit. And that's one of the key things about playing the game as the Axis. You have to decide, do you want to, annex, Austria and stuff, or if you do that, what kind of impact that's going to have on other countries. Their level of income will go up and their readiness will increase. So maybe you wait till the last moment to do those things. Those are World War I subs from 1914 game, and I'm putting them in here because they have coastal submarines, and so that's what they represent. They're pretty good to use for that. I will put a video together giving some advice on how to build for this game, and maybe how you can kind of build for it incrementally and still play it and enjoy it. So watch for those, but I'm probably not going to do that till after we record the battle report. So this is set up for this weekend. It's only basically got 3 days, 3 weekdays, and then on Saturday morning the war starts. Wish me luck, or maybe you don't want to wish me luck. I'll be playing the Axis, so maybe you want to wish my opponents the luck. We'll talk about submarines. I think submarines are actually really kind of powerful in this game. I think they're pretty good, and I think they're going to force the opponent to just put ships out on this convoy lines and just going to sit there. So I mean, how many ships are you going to make kind of like useless, for attacking Italy or whatever? It'll be interesting. Anyway, that is the map setup. I'm going to go over some of the specific rules the best that I can. I'm probably just going to do it from memory, so I'll review the rule book and then I'll go through memory for you the best I can, and then we'll film the battle. I'll film probably on Friday night, maybe just before the game is played on Saturday, my strategies, and then I'll keep that just in my camera. And then after that game is done, I'll upload both of them in one order after another, and you can see maybe the mistakes I might have made or whatever. The thing about this game is I've never actually played it. I've only played like the first 2 or 3 turns just to kind of experiment with it. And I don't really know what the strategy, what the best things to do are. I can theorize, by studying and stuff and the special rules that all the countries have. And that's all I'm going to be doing is theorizing until the game's actually played, and who knows, maybe I start playing it and go, wow, maybe there's a different thing I need to try. And that's what's really cool about complex games with new strategies or with new pieces and new rules. You got to kind of figure it out, and then after maybe other people play it and they record and they talk about it, maybe we all learn like what's the best thing to do. But the more pieces you have, the more territories you have, the more complex the game is. Anyway, I'll let you go. All I'm doing is just scanning around the map for your benefit. You can see where kind of all the armies are located, where they start. So I'll let you go, and then I'll see you when the battle report. Or I'm going to go over the rules on one last video, and then you'll have to wait until after the last weekend of 2017 in October to see what happened, to see my plans and what actually happened during the game. Should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been collecting these pieces for a while, and I'm really excited about putting the theories out there and rolling the dice. So we'll see you in the next one.